Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Folks, we've got a big problem. There's absolutely no...
It's not cooperating. I'll have to reset that one.
A little format change here. It's John DePietro along with Bob's. Wait a minute, Bernie.
Yeah? What am I doing here? How did I get here?
What's going on, Bill? What's going on?
I thought it was going to be Bob. I'm wondering where his Jack Daniels is.
I'm just going to go with the flow. So hopefully I get a chance to read out Don and Pat Haas' insults about John DePietro, and then we'll have a great time and everything will be fine. But I'm happy to be along here for the ride.
Okay, so let's do this. Why don't we tell people? Well, they know the name of the show is RVing in New England, right, Bernie?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And we're sponsored by our good friends at Bill Sell, Q Bill Sell.
Folks, we've got a big problem. There's absolutely no way we can match the savings of Seacoast RV during their blowout bonanza. I mean, look at these prices. They're crazy!
Don't miss out on Seacoast RV's blowout bonanza and your chance to get your family into the RV or towable of your dreams.
Wait a minute. Seacoast RV is taking your trade-ins and giving you top dollar?
And Seacoast RV wants your trade-in during their 2023 blowout bonanza. Trade in your RV towards a leftover 2023 model and receive up to an additional $5,000 on your trade value. That's right, up to $5,000 on your trade.
I mean, just look at these prices. How the heck am I supposed to match Seacoast RV's blowout bonanza? We can't do it!
Don't miss Seacoast RV's 2023 blowout bonanza. And don't forget to check the website for the RV of the week. Seacoast RV, creating family fun on Route 1 in Saco.
Seacoast RV's blowout bonanza savings are so crazy, it makes my head want to explode. Seacoast RV.
You know, that's a wonderful commercial, but I think they could do just a little bit better. You know, if Larry was more like Larry Fine of the Three Stooges and able to really actually pull his hair out, that would be a lot. I would think that would be a lot more dramatic effect. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Yeah, that would be the case. But either way, Bernie, we have a little different show tonight. Why don't you tell our audience what you know, and I'll tell them what I know, and then between the two of us, we might get it right.
All right. Well, here's the thing. You know, the reason why I'm here, it's kind of a last minute thing. I got a call from Bob this afternoon, and he was on his way down to Florida, and he really wanted to bring his dog home. His dog is actually very, very ill, and he's in a situation where he and his wife, May, had to make the decision that he was going to get put down probably. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow morning or something to that effect. But our thoughts and prayers are out with Bob and May and
the dog.
And the dog, yeah. And the dog.
See, because normally the dog is on Bob's lap.
Right, yep. The whole show.
Every day.
Right, yep. The whole show. And prior to that, when he had two dogs, he had one dog on each lap. But I'll tell you one thing, those dogs are cute, but those damn dogs were vicious. Whenever I went near the house, I'd hear, nip, 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 nip.
Yeah, well, small dogs will do that. Oh, you just killed John.
We lost him. I didn't kill him. He dropped off, and he's been trying to do a Wi-Fi router. And,
yeah, he's probably trying something and it just logged in automatically there. But, yeah, small dogs can be like that. They're very defensive of their loved ones, for sure. I want to say hi to Dante, who came in bright and early, right at the crack of 7. Thank you very much, Dante. And then Walter. And Walter, you know, thanks for joining the show, but also thank you for updating the Halo's Wish website. So when people go there, they can donate, they can get information about the Halo's Wish event in September. There's only a few sites left, and our good friend Johnny is back Here's Johnny.
Yep. So anyway, hey, I lost all our people over here. Let's say
We're
hello
all
to
here.
Dante. Let's say
we've
hello to
done
Walter.
that.
Yeah.
We've done that too.
Yep, but we've got them back. So, Bernie, I guess during my absence, you talked about Halo's Wish, which is certainly coming up. What less than
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things about the RV world that we found out, the camping world, shouldn't say camping world, but the world of camping that we found out is, Jim Conboy, is at least 50 to 60% of people, according to campground sources, travel with a pet. And another 30% travel with more than one dog or cat. I remember there were some people that used to travel with dogs, cats, and birds. I don't know about fish, but I'm sure people had those little guinea pigs and scorpions and all that other stuff in there. But we had an interview with a guy named Jim Nelson, who is part of the RV Life family. Is putting on a seminar down at the Hershey Show about making a living from your RV. But he started his RV career out by having an ill dog who couldn't travel on airplanes, etc. So at a somewhat tender age, Jim and his wife said, let's sell it all, get an RV, grab the dog, and go. So they did, and they found out the dog got very sick. The dog got cancer and had to have his front left paw amputated.
Oh,
and,
wow.
This video, Bill, will tell people a little bit about others who might have dogs and are going through hardships with the dogs. Jim Nelson. Hey, everybody, thank you for joining us on this edition of RVing in New England. You know, it's our 10th year, and every year we run into more and more interesting people. And one of the reasons that Bernie and I are here tonight, and Bob isn't, is that Bob has some issues with his dog. He's got a 10-year-old dog that is having some issues, and he's traveling from Maine back to Florida. So he's just one of those crazy, crazy things. But ironically, the guest that we have with us, Jim Nelson, is also a dog. I'm going to make a new word up, Jim. A dogpreneur. Okay, but you had a dog that needed an amputation, or you got it for 25% off because it only had 3 legs. But talk about your RV life and your dog life, because I have heard from campground owners that at least 60% of the people, the campers that come into their campgrounds, are traveling with at least one dog. And now 30% are traveling with 2 or more dogs. So tell us about your dog book and your dog story.
Sure. First, thank you for having me. And I believe there are no coincidences in this world.
Yep.
And the fact that your partner is going down because of health issues for their dog really hits home, because 17 years ago, my wife and I hit the road full-time in an RV because of our dog. Jerry was our chief fun officer in our business. He was about 8 years old at the time. He was a German Shepherd, and he lost a leg to cancer. We didn't even know dogs got cancer at the time. And we were just in turmoil. He had given us so much for such a long time. My wife had this crazy idea. Hey, let's sell the business. Let's sell the home. Let's buy an RV. We planned and budgeted for 1 year off because doctors told us we had about 6 months left with Jerry and we were going to travel the country with him. Well, he ended up living 2 more years, loving life on 3 legs. And during that time, we started a little tripods blog because we heard about dogs, vets calling dogs with 3 legs a tripod. So we kind of claimed that by spelling it with a paw in the middle, tripods.com. And we started discussion forums and live chat and all sorts of resources to help people understand they're not alone when their dog needs an amputation for whatever reason. But the majority of it is cancer.
And Jim,
we went from there.
There were some statistics I saw on your site that there are a vast number of 3-legged dogs.
There are, and it's hard to get, been asked this a number of times. It's hard to nail down exactly how many, but one in 50% basically of all dogs will end up with some sort of cancer, and about 30% of them will lose a leg to cancer. And that's why we exist, to help people understand they're not alone. A few years ago, we founded the Tripods Foundation. We help pay for amputations. We help people get free rehab for their animals and provide all sorts of resources for them.
So basically, people bring dogs into their family, and the dogs become part of their family. They're not just a pet; they're a family member. And people spend enormous amounts of money on care of dogs. I'm sure those statistics are out there somewhere. But if you know what to do before the issue presents itself, I'm sure that it is much better otherwise, right?
Prevention is a major part of it, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how about the book that you wrote about the dogs?
So because Jerry was the reason we hit the road and ended up traveling full-time 17 years later, a few years back, we wrote the story of why we hit the road, how Jerry lost his leg, and how we turned that into our full-time labor of love. That's called Be More Dog, Learning to Live in the Now. And it's about the lessons we learned from Jerry, as well as how we developed our Tripods community into an online business that is keeping us going 17 years later.
17 years later, who'd have thunk, right?
I would have laughed out loud if you told me at the time I'd be managing a nonprofit foundation and a business, but it all comes down to owning that niche. And since we're in the same RV life realm here, we're going to be talking about that at the RV Entrepreneur Workshop in Hershey, Pennsylvania during the big show.
Okay, so we know what you've done. Tell us a little bit about your background. What was your career, and what is your career, and where are you from, and all that other good stuff?
So in our previous,
asked you up front, but
sure, that's quite all right. If we reel it way back there, in my previous life, way back when I was a marketing communications manager in Silicon Valley during the heyday, and Renee at the time said she had a really good idea again. We moved to Eureka, California, and started our own full-service graphics and marketing firm. We ran that for 10 years. And like I said, Jerry was always there by our side for the last 8 of it there. And when we hit the road, we planned for a year off and budgeted for a year off. But then the Tripods community evolved out of that, and we applied our marketing skills into doing what we love.
So as we ask all full-time RVers, when you said to your family members and friends, we're hitting the road, we're selling it all, what was their reaction to your comment?
Everyone thought we were crazy, but both of us were I'm the youngest of 6, Renee's the youngest of 5, and both of us were always kind of out there and did oddball things in our lives. So it didn't come as a big surprise, but yeah, they thought we were crazy. And one brother said, well, when are you going to settle down? And I think he still says that every year I see him 17 years later.
Yep. And enviously, he says, I wish I had lived your life.
Maybe.
But nevertheless, Jim, we want to thank you so much for spending time with us on this special show tonight. And we will let our audience know where they can buy your book, and wish you the best. And we will see you in a few weeks in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you there. I hope everyone sends people to tripods.com to learn more about the book and or dogs with cancer and limb amputation.
Great. Thanks so much.
Well, John, that was amazingly apropos for this evening.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know it. I never even heard of the person until yesterday.
Right.
And Bernie, when I talked to you this afternoon, I had no idea that we were going to go that direction. Then I said, since they're in California, there's a 3-hour time difference. To try to hook them up live would have been difficult. But I said, let's just do a few minutes and let's ask our audience, how many of you travel with dogs? Just put it in over on the comments. How many of you travel with dogs? And have you come
in the meantime, John, at Campers Inn, they allow for a lot of dogs to come in, right? So some days we may have 3 or 5 dogs in the building or on the property at the same time. And then we got a little note from Michelle Fontaine, of course, Abby and Angel. That's lovely. Thanks for sharing that, Michelle. And then Jim Roy has got a couple of pups when we camp.
But if I recall, Jim Roy's pups aren't pups. They're good size. I think they're gold. I think they're either Irish setters or golden retrievers. Jim, give me the breeds of your dogs.
We're going to see him in a couple of weeks. Anyway, Dante is Cat No Dog passed away a while ago. And yes, with a puggle, but she's getting older. And, you know, that's a thing, you know, we they become part of our family. The dogs age, you know, and they age a lot quicker than we do. And it's really sad to see how quickly the decline can happen at a certain point. And that's exactly what Bob's going through. And me and May had Alvin and actually had the same problem that Bob's dog's going through right now.
Did he have
kidney failure? Yeah.
Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Yeah, he was a riot. He was a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix.
He must have been crazy.
Off the furniture, just airborne. And he loved us so much. He loved company. But when we went outside, if there was another dog, he would scare everybody away. At 12 pounds, he was a terror against other dogs. And then we got Michelle talking a little bit more. My little snorers would put any man to shame. Oh, isn't that funny? Yeah. And then we have Charles Butler leaving all. Thanks for joining us today, Charles.
Yeah. So if you're interested in the dog book, it's called Be More Dog. And the website, it's RVentrepreneurs.com. The RV, you can spell that, RV Entrepreneurs. And I believe it's plural. If not, just go Jim Nelson, and you'll find it. But they've got a big foundation because of that love of their dog. So Jim Convoy, Vicky, and I travel with 3. Okay, Cavalier, Ching. Okay, they travel well. This weekend will be our longest trip with them when we head to Elkhart. Oh, this is it, Grand Design National Valley. Cool. Go up to Don Clark and tell him you know DePietro and Zagami, and then have bail money because they'll probably arrest you.
Yeah, it's going to punch him in the face. Yeah.
Yep. Jim Roy is a 30-pound
Pomeranian American Eskimo. Wow.
And a 30-pound English cream golden retriever. Only 30 pounds. Jim, when we met you last year, was it this time of year up in Shore Hills, up in Booth Bay? Are you going to have that rally with the classics again this year? So, you know, hey, the topic of this show is tell us where you've been cool this summer, where your cool places that you've been this summer. And, you know, now's the time to give you that opportunity. And Bill, if you want to put the link up there, if anybody has the nerve to come on, they can.
The link to this show, if you would like that, they're going to have to jot it down though, because
we've got our guest coming at 7:30.
Yeah, we have a guest at that time, and let me quickly make this banner.
Yep.
If you want big dogs, we've got 2 bull mastiffs.
You can put it right in the comments, I think, Bill. Oh, you got it. Good job.
Yeah, I'll try the comments too, so that people will be able to grab it there.
So, Bill, what do those dogs weigh?
The 8-year-old is about 112 pounds, and the puppy, now 7 months old, is 78 pounds already, and will top out at 120 based on her parents.
Are they droolers? Are they big droolers?
When it's dairy or any other kind of food, they'll drool.
They'll drool.
The bull mastiff is not the same as the English mastiff. That one will do a ton of drooling. But
and how about shedding?
At the appropriate times of the year, yes. So we've got one that's tan and one that's a dark brindle. So it doesn't matter what you wear. You wear a white shirt, the dark brindle shows up. The tan shows up on any dark clothes. So yeah, you're going to get nailed.
Okay. Jim Roy, thank you so much. Shore Hills Campground in Booth Bay. First weekend in October. Maybe we can make it up there. That was a good time last year. You know, one of the things that we have found during the last few years, actually we're coming up on our 10th year of broadcasting this show, is that our viewers are big RVers, obviously. You know, the subject matter suits them. And recently, my wife and I were at Bailey's Campground up in Maine, and we ran into a couple people that were with Frank Palange and a few of the other people that are associated with Halo's Wish. So if we can go to the bacon video, you'll find out a little bit more about cooking at the campground.
Oh, so folks, I maintain there is no sweeter smell anywhere than in the campground when your neighbor's making bacon. Well, I should say preparing bacon.
Exactly.
On the griddle. On the griddle. On the Blackstone. We were just talking about the other night, and there's something special about campground cooking that you don't get at home, right, Rich?
No, they come out. I mean, it's just, the smell of it, the taste, it's just much better.
I have to disagree.
Oh, she has to disagree. Okay, come right ahead. You're on.
The best smell is when your husband is cooking bacon so that you can eat
Right,
it.
right. And the best sound in the world is the lawnmower in your yard when there's somebody else mowing the lawn.
No.
Somebody else mowing the lawn. Okay, so are you doing bacon, eggs too, or are you just doing bacon?
Oh, it's just the extra egg in case we need them.
Oh, okay, okay. So you got your Blackstone. You hook it right up? Oh, you got one of those?
Yeah, I got a tank.
So tell me how long you've been camping.
This is 8 years now?
8 years.
At least 8 years.
And how'd you hook up with those bandits?
From the Good Sam's, we all got in the,
Oh,
joined the club.
Okay.
Happy Time Sam, so we
Yeah.
started from that.
Yeah.
I know Joe Cavosa.
Cavosa,
so, yeah,
okay.
he got.
Sorry to hear that. And Rhonda too then.
Yeah, and Rhonda
Yeah.
and Joe, they
Jason.
got us into camping. I mean, we were friends with them.
So tell us where you're from and what you do for a living.
So I'm from Uxbridge, Mass. Grew up in Medway.
Right by
Mass.
me.
Yeah. I work at Staples e-commerce.
In the headquarters?
Yep, and headquarters over at 9 and 9D there.
Yeah, yeah. So you know how to make bacon too. Look at that. He doesn't, folks. Look, show me that full one that's done there. The one that's done. No, the one that's already in there.
Yep.
Okay, look at folks. There's not one burnt piece, but I've got to sample it in order to make sure it's good. Okay. So we've got to sample this bacon. Fantastic. Okay. Now look at Frank's over there burning the eggs.
Yeah.
And Chuck's over here doing the potatoes. So eventually you guys all come over to the same table, right?
Hey, fine.
Okay. So Chuck, I understand that you're a cooking pro.
Yeah, we used to do, before we started camping all the time, we used to do competition barbecue throughout the country. We've been all the way to Kansas City for the World Championships and the Jack Daniels Championships.
Well, for drinking Jack Daniels or putting Jack
Both.
Daniels in? Okay. And they've given you the
Home fries?
task of home fries today. Okay, but you got all these other toys. Show us your kitchen here.
So we got a
hell is
Ninja
this?
wood-fired grill and air fryer, so you can air fry wings and stuff, which we had yesterday. And then,
Oh, the wings. Any leftover wings, by the way?
no, and
No.
Then we have the Rock Box, which is a portable pizza oven. You can do wood-fired or propane-fired.
And Jason Cole has one of those, but it's...
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's uni, I think.
Yeah, his is uni, and his is propane, I think.
Yeah, this one can do either or.
Okay, so what do you normally cook in there?
Pizzas. We also do stuff in cast iron. We'll put in there and cook, like tater tots for appetizers, all kinds of things like that.
But I mean, look at you have a whole series of tables and stuff,
Yeah, and then,
and your own.
Wow. Look at, you're like the guy on drive-ins, diners, and dives, right?
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah, right. Here's the thing, John. You're always eating on camera, whether it be on the pre-recorded video or you are right here sitting in front of us. That is
Bernie.
Yeah.
One of the main I shouldn't say occupations. No, there's not the right word. Sidelines, activities of RVers is eating.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bernie, because being a professional salesperson in the industry, the outdoor kitchens now.
Yeah.
Okay? It used to be, you had a little pop-up a little gas stove and a little griddle. But now they have all the attachments where you can hook all those other attachments up to it with the power and everything else. And that gentleman had his own industrial style tables that all fold up.
All stainless steel, real easy to clean, and sanitary and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that he's set up very well, and it's not too big, right? I just love Don and Pat Hawes' comment here, and I have to try this. We just tried beef bacon from the local meat market, so they must be taking, I don't know, is it short rib meat, Don, Pat? Like, what's the cut? I want to know, because no one's selling beef bacon around here, but I want to know how to make it. Yeah,
we were just down in Amish country in Lancaster County, and we got some fresh meat down there, and bacon was one of them, and we tried it. Actually, just had it this morning. Meat that hasn't been processed, like the kind that you get in the supermarket, tastes totally different. Totally different. So let's just ask our audience in the few minutes we have left before our guests show up, our additional guests show up. Is there a particular item that you enjoy cooking the best, cooking the most while you're camping? Do you have a specialty? And let us know. We can share it. Now, Michelle wants suggestions for a place to gather for her family for a camping vacation. One of the things, Michelle, that you may want to consider is Bailey's up in Old Orchard Beach, because they have rental trailers, and they're all either brand new or 1 year old. And everybody can be in an RV. They don't have to. They can be in a cabin if they want, but you'll have your new RV by then. And if you want to camp with your family and they want to experience the true RV lifestyle, then they can rent one and not have to go about owning them. Of course, bacon, but Dante. Oh yeah, bacon on the grill, but also bacon.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So I was a chef before, and when I camp, and I don't camp as much as I'd like to, but it's going to be coming soon, just so you know. So I'm going to be wanting a lot of tips from you guys. I tend to par cook my bacon about 2/3 of the way through, so all I really have to do is crisp it, because it's a lot of grease when you're cooking bacon from scratch, right? And it accumulates. If the grill gets too hot, it catches fire, or if the grease starts to trickle over the edge and you have gas underneath. So it's, bacon can be, pretty dangerous. So I always cook it 2/3, 3/4 of the way through and just finish it off at the end.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, with the Blackstone griddles, you can cook bacon, and they're set up so that they drip into their own drip basin and go from there. Bacon wrapped scallops on the grill. Now, do you cook the bacon, Jim, first, or you cook it all at once? Jim Conboy. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Beef bacon from Happy Campers Beef Company. I never in the world thought of beef bacon. Never in the world.
See, okay. Walter's a smart guy, right? He's like the smartest person that watches this show every week. We always par-cook, pre-cook our camping meals to make final prep quick.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And Michelle, if you're looking, it's Bayley. Bailey's, Bayley. They're been in business since 1972, so they just celebrated their 52nd year in business. Oh, maple syrup all over it. Now, I don't even like scallops, but that sounds good, Jim Conboy.
Oh, yeah. That's good living right there.
Would you guys agree that the smell around the campfire is something special, even better than if it's your charcoal grill at home?
You know what's something simple that is delicious too, that has a great aroma? If you do knockwurst with peppers and onions.
Yeah. Cut it down the middle.
Beautiful thing.
Cut it down the middle. Knockwurst or kielbasa or even turkey kielbasa.
And we're very fortunate that Mark and Julie are already chiming in. Nothing like fresh food from the local market wherever you are traveling, except when it gets in your eyes, clothes, and hair.
Yep, exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah, all at once. Okay, I think you guys are hungry. No, I've already eaten.
He's been eating during the show.
But
I kind of came home from work and I didn't get a chance for a proper dinner, but
they were
okay.
crackers. They were crackers. I had watermelon and crackers. That was my balanced meal tonight. I'm over
show night food.
I'm out on the deck watching my neighbors cook. You cooking corn on that grill, Doctor? You cooking corn on that grill? Yeah. Ooh. You took it out of the the green stuff already?
No, the husk. You leave it on, buddy.
You took it out of the husks?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't.
Well, he's from Illinois. They don't know how to cook out there.
I take about half off, but I let it kind of get good and hot so it browns the corn a little bit, but it's also steaming it with the husks.
Right. At the
Brilliant.
same time. Yep. That's what we do. We steam it in the microwave. We take off most of the green stuff and then cut an inch off both ends so you don't have the long stalk. Then cook it for 4 minutes per ear in the microwave. And it comes out perfect. And then you drizzle that butter on it.
Absolutely. Michelle's commenting that we are obviously hungry and we must be salivating or something to that effect.
Yep.
But hey, John, it's 7:31. Do you want to go on a quick break and then bring our all-star guests on?
Yeah, if we can hit that button for Seacoast. And
yeah, hold on 1 second. I just want to let people know after the commercial, we have Mark and Julie Bennett back on short notice helping us out here tonight. And they're going to describe some of their favorite trips around the country.
Yep. And just prior to that, we have this message from Seacoast RVs on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. They have elevation park models. They have crop park models. They have Winnebago park models. In fact, this shirt that I have on right now is a crop shirt that they gave me. The cool part about working in the industry is you get a lot of free clothing. And crop does the best when it comes to that. And they've got Winnebago towables as Winnebago motorized. And we will be camping this weekend in a Winnebago motorized unit. Talk about something to do. We're going to Saratoga, New York with some other RVing friends. And you know what? We're going to be on Route 9 in New York, not on Route 1. But the Seacoast people, they create family fun on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. Special thanks to them for sponsoring our show. And now, here are our friends from, where are you at now?
We're at home in Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, welcome.
Making their weekly appearance.
It feels like that lately, doesn't it?
But thank you for stopping in on short notice. And
no short jokes, please, John.
Our topic tonight is
Bernie, we haven't met in person, so you know.
Yeah, I got you. I can tell. You're petite.
I'm less than 5 feet in height, but I'm big on personality.
Yeah,
makes up for it with personality. Yeah.
Bernie, you were kind enough to invite them, so
yes, thank you, Bernie. And Bernie.
Yeah, you know, our good buddy Bill has lots of photos that describe some that show some of the lovely places you've been. But you know, Bob asked us to talk about everyone's favorite places. So as we're going through this, I want our guests to also chime in and let us know some of their favorite destinations of 2024. And Bill, just start playing some of those lovely pictures.
Do you want us to tell you where they are?
Yeah, please tell us where we are.
Bixby Bridge in California.
Yes, behind us is Bixby Bridge, and that's California. Funny story about that one. That was actually Valentine's Day, and we took the RV, and that was with that little 25-foot Class C Winnebago Navion, and we were able to get a spot right by there. But it was just so windy and such a crazy storm. And then we'd have to run out, set up the camera on a tripod and quickly take photos. And then just before it and just after that, the weather was crazy, but we managed to get just
amazing
shots like that.
Yeah.
Well, that photo is so picturesque. It looked like you were standing in front of a postcard.
The lighting ended up being perfect. And this one is near Ouray, Colorado.
$1 Million Highway.
$1 Million Highway.
Oh my gosh.
That is a beautiful ride. And it's with fall coming up. I mean, if anyone's listening, if you're out this side of the country, because I know a lot of you all are over in the east, but out in Colorado, we've got some great fall color drives. And this is I think it was September we were there. So it was a little early for the colors, but you can see they're starting to pop. But that's just spectacular. And I had to stand up there. You could see Mark drop me off, and he would go down and he does the loop, and he comes back, and I'm taking photos. That's our fun game. That's what you get.
Yeah, that takes a little bit of effort there.
It takes a lot of trust, Julie, that he's going to actually pick you up on the way back.
I know. Hey, he's got.
Wait for me. Yeah.
This was our first RV. This one, so this is actually a real hidden gem because a lot of people talk about the Yellowstone and Yosemite and Grand Canyon, of course, which are all amazing national parks. But this is the Badlands National Park in South Dakota, and it is actually beautiful. I would say it's up there. I'd say probably in our top 10 because it's what we're finding. National parks get so crowded these days that if it's not so crowded and you've got nice big open spaces and you can just really enjoy it without getting jostled by people.
There's actually a lot of great stuff nearby there too. The Custer State Park, where a lot of bison, you can get real close to them often. But that was an early on photo from that one, and that was the colors are beautiful in that as well.
Hey,
was so fun.
Have you guys ever been to Sturgis for the motorcycle event?
Yes, but not for the motorcycle event. We did visit Sturgis when we were visiting that Black Hills area. There is a lot to do there. It is cool. Deadwood was a cool town just near there that's got great restaurants. It's like this older town. Oh, this actually is one of our little favorite trips. This is more up your way in the east.
Especially being RV love,
Yeah, Virginia.
There you go.
Virginia has all of these amazing love work art all around the state. And so this was actually, we were there the year of their 50th. Virginia is for lovers is their tagline for the state. And I just think what's so cool is everywhere you go, and it can be these little towns and the most unexpected places or the big popular places like the Richmond Raceway, and the communities get together and they create these love works big art installations that have a theme to their location. Like Waynesboro was big for trout fishing, and the Richmond Raceway, they had a lot of tires and
that was a cinema themed one. So
what's that one?
Movie themed.
Themed, yeah.
But yeah, Virginia, we have a great blog post about that Virginia trips.
Yeah,
that's of course the Grand Canyon.
That's the North Rim, though. A lot of people have visited the South Rim of the Grand Canyon, but not as many have visited the North Rim. And we were lucky enough
on the other side.
What's that, John?
That's opposite the side of Williams, Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes, Williams is near the South Rim, and that's the most popular. And that was the first time we ever saw the Grand Canyon was the South Rim. And I think we might have talked about that on a previous call when it was snowing and it was amazing. But the North Rim, it's not as populous, but it's very spectacular.
The North Rim, is that where they have that glass walkway that you can walk out?
No, that's the West Rim.
The West Rim.
That one's near Las Vegas. So I've driven there. Actually, Mark hasn't. I went with a girlfriend on a road trip and we did that. And you go out on the glass walkway and you're like, it's quite disconcerting. And you could lay on it and looking down into the canyon through the glass.
I can't imagine. I got a little bit of nervous when I'm on a 6-foot ladder. I don't know if I would be doing that.
It's not for the faint of heart, but
yeah.
Oh, this one is another one of our favorites. So do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah,
that's the Yaquina Head.
Yaquina Head in
Oregon.
In Oregon. Or on the coast, obviously, but that's actually one of my favorite beach of all of our travels. And
Mike's not a beach guy.
I'm not a beach guy. I don't like the sand.
That's why I like it. There's no sand there.
That's right. It's actually magical because it's black cobblestone, and when those water, so it doesn't get murky from sand, and then also when the waves hit, it has this really amazing sound of
like
the
tumbling rocks.
The tumbling rocks. That's a really special.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it's near Newport, Oregon.
Yeah.
It's near
Newport. Kind of looks like the headlight in Portland.
I know, it's very Maine-esque.
You got to clarify which Portland. There's multiple Portlands across the country.
That is one thing we found traveling, didn't we? Is that there's even a Denver. I don't know what state, but there's another Denver that's not in Colorado. Yeah. So we've found traveling. There's a lot of cities by the same name in multiple states that.
Yeah, I'm told that the name Springfield is the most common name for cities. I don't know how many states it's in, but
I can believe that. Yeah, I would believe that.
That would be a good question for Google.
In New England, not too far from each other, is Springfield, Vermont.
It's funny, these photos of our little casita, that 17-foot little camper, that little fiberglass camper.
Yeah.
That's in Colorado. That's at a campground called Kebler Corner, which we love. It's right on the river, and you can't see it in this photo, but that if you like, you could see the mountain like right over to the right side there. It's beautiful, and it's one of those family-owned campgrounds, and they do a really nice job. And you're right on the river, and it's just lovely. We love Kebler Corner.
Yep.
That's in.
So we want to let our audience know that if you've been to any of these places, feel free to chime in with your comments.
Please do, everyone. I would love to hear, because I being RVing New England, we kind of assume so many of you are from the East and up in New England, but I know people from all around the country tune in. So I'd love to know where everyone is and who's been to these places. And can you guess where this is?
I'm going to wild guess that begins with A.
You're
Albuquerque
right.
Balloon Fest.
I should have taken a left turn at
Albuquerque. I mean, obviously, it's the biggest balloon fiesta in the country, but there's a lot of great balloon festivals across the country that you could still camp with your RV and still be immersed and enjoy it. Multi-day event in a lot of areas.
And there's one in Glens Falls, New York, that takes place in the middle of September. We've been 3 or 4 years, and they get 100 balloons that go up.
Wow. And you'd have the fall colors would be already coming by then,
Fall
right?
colors are coming in. And
that's beautiful.
Just north of Saratoga, where we'll be tomorrow. And
nice.
It's at an airport, and they let you camp adjacent to the runway for, I think, it's $20 for the weekend.
Wow, that's great. That would be amazing.
And that's the thing, like as Mark said, the balloon fiesta in Albuquerque, it can be hard to get tickets to. It sells out so quickly. But all these little ones, I remember the first one we ever went to was in Colorado Springs before we even hit the road, I think back in 2011, and it was fantastic.
That is in an RV Mecca, an RV major location. That's the Quartzsite.
Quartzsite.
Yeah, and
that's where we met John in Quartzsite.
Yeah.
This was during the pandemic.
Because there's nothing else.
Why we're in black tie. Because, who doesn't do that? But that was, we'd actually just been to a friend's black tie 40th birthday, so we happened to have black tie gear in the rig.
And we just thought it'd be fun to be dressed up in the middle of the desert.
That was our Friday night date night.
Is that a parking lot, or is that just like flat land?
That's just flat land.
The whole damn place is a parking lot.
But that's what's great about
Quartzsite
is there are tens of thousands of RVers that go there in the winter, and the surface has that rock. It's a bit giant wash, but it has the rock over the top of the soil, so you can support some of these larger rigs. It's great.
It's for anyone that hasn't boondocked before. If you want to try it out for the first time, I think there's no better place to do it than Quartzsite, because the whole town is set up for that, and there are so many people there that are doing it that are so helpful and will just like show you the ropes and just.
I got to get back there this year with my wife.
But maybe go when it's not the main show, because it's not as crowded. It'll be a lot easier to find a nice spot.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'd agree that even with the show, there's places that you can seclude yourself with no one else around.
If you go further out,
if you go further out, you can find space.
You can, but even so, the people, they give each other.
But hey, Quartzsite doesn't even have a McDonald's. It has a Burger King or a Hardee's or something.
I think hasn't it got a Carl's Jr.?
Carl's Jr. That's what it is.
Is it the one at the Loves?
Yes, at the
and
truck
all the EV charging stations.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, there's Silly Al's Pizza, and then there's
Silly Al's is great pizza.
Yeah, there's a few different options there, but
it's
an interesting town.
Or if you go, just hang out with Tony Barthel, and he'll take you to the yacht. Did you guys go to the yacht club with us?
We did not go to the yacht club with you. I think did we once go in there briefly, or what happened?
It's a joke because there's no water anywhere nearby, and they call it a yacht club.
But you can join that.
People join it because if you join the Quartzsite Yacht Club, a lot of other yacht clubs will recognize that you are a yacht club member, and
they don't know that Quartzsite's in the middle of the desert.
You get reciprocal.
Yeah. It's super cool. Yeah,
that's so funny. It's so like Bob was asking us earlier, a lot of you other folks that are watching the show right now have been to a lot of amazing places. So you can share in, and then we can comment on that. We'll put you up, and I'd love to hear more about some exciting places. Winslow Campground in Maine is one of my little pieces of paradise, right? It's a state-owned property that the Winslow family gave to the state of Maine, and they turned it into a campground, and it's right along the ocean on the bluffs. And from there, like we used to tent right on the bluff, like 15 feet from the edge of it. And then there was like little paths that you could walk down in the seaweed. The seals were out there.
Wow.
The bald eagles flying over by. People are kayaking. And it was such a delightful, quiet place. Yeah.
Ernie, I
And
thought you
where
were
is that?
referring.
Where in Maine is that, Bernie?
It's right next to south of Freeport by about 2 miles.
Okay.
So-
But we
so
were
north
standing
of
on a
Portland,
corner
about
in
20.
My wife and I were standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a
Isn't
fine
that fun?
to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford. She slowed down to take a look at me, and I told my
Oh,
wife,
come on, baby.
"Take it easy.
Don't say maybe.
Don't let the sound of these own wheels drive you crazy. We may lose, we may win, but we may never be here again." Have you guys been to Winslow?
Oh, yeah. And we played that song driving right through it.
Isn't that a
Oh, it's
riot?
awesome.
Winslow has done a nice job on that corner.
They
did
really
a nice
did.
job setting that up. Yeah.
Considering all there is a truck, and the rest of it is just a painting on a building.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
And
not
there's
much
not
to
There's
it.
a statue of a guy too.
Right.
Yeah, the statue of the guy.
Got holding
Yeah,
a guitar. Yeah.
And now I
That's
know what a
splendid.
flatbed Ford is.
That's just one of those
Yeah,
fun things
it's
you
a
got to
fun
do.
little stop
Like
by.
going to the steak place, like the Big Texan Steakhouse. Have you heard of that one in Amarillo?
You
I've
see
heard
like
of it.
100 signs.
Such a
yeah.
tourist stop,
Yeah.
right? So you're
That's the one
driving
you try
down
to eat.
I-40 and there's like massive billboards as far as the eye can see, like a bit like Wall Drug in South
Yeah.
Dakota. So here's what we've all learned, I think a lot of others, if you put enough billboards up, eventually people will think, maybe I should stop there and maybe it's a big deal. And often it's not a big deal, but you go anyway because all the billboards. So billboards still work.
Yeah. And that's what south of the
Absolutely.
border was.
You got to have a lot of billboards,
But yeah.
not just a couple. You got to have a lot.
But Bernie, you were
South on
talking
the
about
border.
Maine. We love Maine as well.
I love it. We
It's
should get
just-
back. We're
course.
overdue to get back to
Yeah.
Maine.
Yeah, then we can meet up. We can meet in person finally.
Aren't you
I
in New
love-
Hampshire?
Yeah, I live in New Hampshire. Yeah, I could get to
but it's only-
that part of Maine in about an hour and a half.
The
Oh,
Julian, the thing is here,
wow.
you can be in all 5 New England states. Actually, there's a spot that you can stand in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island at the same time.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
In 3 states at once.
I hate to tell you this, but we have to do that. But I hate to tell you this, but you can do that with 4 states in Colorado.
Oh, right.
That's right.
But
So
there are
we've gone
long
up
distance
here.
between. I mean, you go 500-600 miles, you're still in the same state. Here you
Yeah.
go 500
Yes.
miles and you're halfway to Chicago.
Yeah.
When you're filling out those little,
If you blink, you'll miss Rhode Island when you're driving through. It's
Oh.
only
Oh
about
yeah,
20
it's a
miles,
blink.
something like that.
Right. Exactly.
it's really great when you've got those state sticker maps on the side of your RV.
Oh, yeah.
And you go through New England and you're like, woof, all of a sudden that corner just
Bang,
gets filled
bang,
up.
bang. All at once.
That is,
But-
I tell you, that is a fun thing for any RV or camper that, does more than just your local or regional travel. If you are going to multiple states, it really is fun being able to put those stickers on because it's such a great talking point when you're at a campground and people are walking around and so social. It's such a great opportunity to stop and talk to people about where you've been or where you're going and share stories. And one thing that we learned is that North Dakota is the least visited state. So many RVers have been to
Really?
all 49 states except for North Dakota. And we said, that's not going to be us. But
Yeah,
a
so
lot.
So you're not going to go?
No, we've been. We made a point.
Oh, okay.
We did all 50, but
We go out of our way just to get the sticker.
But it was
Go out of your way, yeah.
what Julie's talking about, those state sticker maps, you do some crazy things. Like we were going from Texas to Colorado and we decided to go via Missouri and Kansas, Nebraska or something. We like
Via Tennessee.
and of course everyone has their own rules about what it takes to stay there. Some people have to visit the state capital.
You've
Some
got to
people
stay a night.
have to
or-
stay a night or have memorable, whatever it is. So, but everyone, that's for everyone else. You can make up your own rules.
Well, I have an interesting rule. My rule is if you fly over it on your way from Boston to LA, then it counts.
Wow.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can
Oh,
drive
man,
through it. You could drive through it and fill with gas, maybe, but you don't get really to see
John,
it.
you travel a lot. You
I've
travel a
you know
whole
what?
lot.
We've been from Maine to Florida, and
Yep.
Georgia, Mississippi. We've been up to the Tiffin factory in Mississippi,
Alabama, Red Bay.
Red Bay, yeah.
Red Bay, Alabama, and I've been to Texas, Louisiana, and what's the other one in there? Talladega's Alabama, right? Yeah, on the NASCAR circuit.
Yeah.
Oh,
North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia,
right.
West
Yeah.
Virginia.
Yeah,
And so-
you've been everywhere, man. Yeah.
Yep,
See.
Kentucky, Iowa, out to the. You know what? If you just do a tour of the manufacturers of Winnebago, you got Iowa,
Yep.
and I'll tell you, that Forest City, Iowa, where there's not even a McDonald's in Forest City, Iowa. The best
Really?
food is at the they have
plant.
takeout food at the supermarket.
Well, yeah, there's a market, there's a gas station, there's a hotel where I stayed, and then there's Winnebago. But the best food in town was at Winnebago when they made us lunch there.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
No rally. I mean,
you guys have got to be hungry. People have been commenting about how hungry you are because you keep going back to food.
Oh, the first half of the show we were talking about food,
That place
and more food.
famous near Newmar, in Napanee, that has that Amish place that's famous for the. Is it the donuts or what is it famous for?
Yeah, the crack donuts. At the Essen House is really good in Middlebury. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Right.
That is like a buffet for a cardiac problem. Yeah.
The Blue Door theater and restaurant, that buffet. But Zagami and I went in there, and I don't know how we could have driven after that because the fried chicken was so damn good and the shoe fry.
Really?
Pie. Blue Door Theater
food coma.
Wow. Las Vegas is pretty damn good for buffets.
Yeah, but they're getting to be ridiculously expensive now. Las Vegas.
They are, but there's kind of different. I mean, we haven't been for buffet actually since the pandemic. It was pre-pandemic, but they've also got more upscale buffets and more where it's like instead of like just going over a big thing that everybody's been slopping around with their big spoon, they'll have like little individual servings and things. So it's more sanitary and it's more artisan. So definitely those get quite a bit more expensive, don't they? So it depends what you like. If it's more about the quality or the quantity of the food, I think if you're going just to fill up and not have to eat for the rest of the day, then
you got those what do you call it, Golden Corrals, which are, but every once in a while you stop. Now, our friends Don and Pat Hawes said our son and daughter-in-law have a cottage to rent in Millinocket, Maine. That's Bernie. How far out? I've been there, but I don't remember where it is.
That sounds cute. Millinocket. What a cute name for a place.
Losers
Lookout. Checking out on Airbnb.
Not Losers Lookout. It's Laziers Lookout. Mike said Losers Lookout is worth checking out on Airbnb.
It might be up. It might be up by Bar Harbor.
It is.
But I'm not sure.
It's actually northwest of. It's due north of Bangor. So yeah, it's way up there.
That's up in the territory, the lakes, the Moosehead Lake territory, I think.
Yeah, it's actually north of all of that. Yeah.
Haven't been up
there. But it seems like most of Millinocket's against water. Yeah, it's a beautiful.
Yeah, we were supposed to be.
Everywhere in Maine's beautiful.
We were supposed to be up in Moncton, New Brunswick this weekend for a country music event, but we got mixed up on our dates and stuff. We had the wrong dates.
Oh no!
But Mount Katahdin, okay, way up. Yep.
Oh wow!
So, Bennett, where are you heading next?
We are actually don't have any immediate plans, do we? We're working on a big project right now. Mark's working on a big project.
Yeah, so we're going to be staying local for most of the summer.
But then we're going to go back to Tucson this winter, actually. We really love Tucson. We've done a lot of the Southwest. We've spent more time in the Southwest for winter than anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
Probably spent more time in Palm Springs than anywhere else. But if you haven't been to Tucson, that is a really cool town. It's got great restaurants, big murals. Remember those big cool murals?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, remember that big bike one that was amazing?
Yeah, but I like it because it's an outdoorsy town, good hiking, biking, and it's a good town.
That nice Catalina State Park.
We'll probably get back down into Arizona this winter for sure. And
my only time was there in June.
What's that, John?
My only time in Arizona and Tucson was in June, and not the time to be there because it was 95 degrees or 100 degrees at 11 at night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be less desirable to be there
We
in
like
the
going
summer.
in the winter.
We go there in the winter. We don't go there that's one of the
Right
best
after-
things about RVing is you go there when it's the best weather,
Right.
wherever you're going.
And that's the thing with
Picking
Quartzsite. In Phoenix, we flew into Phoenix and then drove to Quartzsite.
So here's
That's
a
the way to
fun.
do it.
Have you heard much of this trend? Whereas somebody, I can't remember the exact. It's escaping my brain right now. Where you'll have an RV and then you'll explore a certain region and then leave it in storage and then fly back home, and then
Yeah.
you go back for what's the name for that
Hub and
style of
spoke?
travel? Yeah, that was another name they had for it.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it was hub and spoke's kind of when you're in one going up, but like go to the West Coast, for example. You guys need to get out to the west. It's so beautiful over here.
Yep.
We're not on the coast, we're in the middle, but
Yeah.
and then leave your RV there and just put it in storage and then fly home, and that
Fly
makes it a
home.
lot easier to get
Yep,
back
that's-
and do another trip and then
Yeah, some of our customers do that right now,
Yeah.
and I think that's a great way of going around because I mean it's the trip is great, but you might not have that much time to spend an extra week in each direction on the way
Exactly.
back and forth, right?
and all the gas and the time. It's not just the gas, but the time. Because when we went to Florida a few years ago for an 8,500-mile trip, when we had the Navi on, we calculated Mark spent like 200 hours behind the wheel,
Holy moly!
which is like 5 weeks of full-time work. Which is
Yep.
why if everyone's ever wondering why you can't get work done sometimes when you're traveling because you can't work on the
You're
grid.
burning the time.
The good part about the Navion only having a 20-gallon tank is that you have to stop to refuel.
Yes, well, we actually do with our fifth wheel too, John, like 200 miles, don't we?
Yeah,
Towing a
'cause
fifth wheel and
we have
makes
a
you stop.
38-gallon tank, but we only get 7 miles a gallon. So
Right.
whereas the Navion we'd get 14. So we actually stop more frequently with our truck and trailer than we did with the Navion.
Yep. Yeah, we just did that trip 3 hours and then a 2-hour break and then 4 more, and it took me 2 days to recover from it.
It does take it out of you. It
Yep.
does, and this is one thing that when we first started traveling, there's the 333 rule and the 222 rule, and we found that we could go longer than that. But now we're 10 years older than when we started, and we're like, oh, really? You can really tell the difference. Like, so I think just respecting where you are in the life stage of things is to plan to just slow it down. Why?
And
rush
also,
it?
what geographic state you're in, because this was from Pennsylvania to New England, going through New York City and Newark, New Jersey, and during thunderstorms and floods on the highway.
That's stressful.
Yeah, that's much higher stress driving than a big open
That's where we
highway
broke
out
down
west.
with Cece there in New York.
You can get out west, and you can, if you're in a big Class A coach out west with a big 100-gallon fuel tank, you can just roll for many, many hours without even thinking about it because you can
Put on cruise control.
Put on cruise control. Go get yourself a beverage.
I get up, use the bathroom, get the snacks.
The passenger does that. The driver has to stay in the seat. But
are you sure? I heard rumors that people do it the other way around.
Oh, that's the new EV self-driving RVs.
No, it's funny. You always hear the story of a person who sued Winnebago.
I heard that story too.
Putting it on cruise control and going back and getting a drink, and sued Winnebago for getting an accident because they had cruise control. And
is that a real story, or is that one of those old wives' tales?
It could be a wives' tale or whatever, but. With that being said, with the lane keep assist, you almost don't have to drive, and they brake automatically now. Like the chassis, they have the auto braking, cruise control. So,
I wouldn't trust it.
The pros and cons with that is I think you start to get lazy and forget how to drive.
You
right?
lose pay attention. Yeah, you don't pay attention. Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, it is actually so amazing that technology. Some people are just bad drivers or just don't pay attention. It actually helps. So I'm kind of like I see both the pros and the cons, but we're real drivers, so we like don't like giving up too much control.
I think I bumped into all those people this past weekend, and our time with you goes by way too fast. It's all just about time to say.
I'm glad we managed to.
Good night. Thank you for sharing your travel plans with us. Bernie, thank you so much. And Bill, are you still there? Bill, if you're
of course
still
I
there.
am. You wouldn't be going if I wasn't.
Tell us about the events. Tell us about the events that you've got you're working on in the next couple weeks?
Running the Framingham, Massachusetts Farmers Market, the largest farmers market in Massachusetts, 94 vendors tomorrow. Last week we had a little bit of a microburst and looked like a tornado hit us. It literally was ripping people's tents right out of the ground where they were.
Oh my goodness.
18 tents were destroyed, including one of mine. But we'll be back tomorrow. It's going to be glorious weather, 72 degrees and sunny. So that'll be perfect weather for people to go shop. And then
get that Marlboro event.
Yeah, Marlboro, I'll be doing Labor Day weekend. We're doing a big festival right on Main Street, right downtown on Sunday. And that'll be open probably about 12 to 5. And we hope to have 3,000 people coming in on that one.
Yeah.
That's a big crowd.
It's
Labor Day
farmers markets to get out here.
It is, yeah. And then the Monday is the Labor Day parade in Marlboro. It's the longest running parade in Massachusetts. And I just this year took on the management of that one. So that'll be an interesting one. And
there we go.
Hopefully I can have Walter Swenson swing by with the grandkids.
Perfect.
Thanks so much, Bill. It's been amazing.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Mark and Julie.
Good to see you as always.
Other guests. And see you right back here next week. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Folks, we've got a big problem. There's absolutely no way we can match the savings of Seacoast RV during their blowout bonanza. I mean, look at these prices. They're crazy!
Don't miss out on Seacoast RV's blowout bonanza and your chance to get your family into the RV or towable of your dreams.
Wait a minute. Seacoast RV is taking your trade-ins and giving you top dollar?
And Seacoast RV wants your trade-in during their 2023 blowout bonanza. Trade in your RV towards a leftover 2023 model and receive up to an additional $5,000 on your trade value. That's right, up to $5,000 on your trade.
I mean, just look at these prices. How the heck am I supposed to match Seacoast RV's blowout bonanza? We can't do it!
Don't miss Seacoast RV's 2023 blowout bonanza. And don't forget to check the website for the RV of the week. Seacoast RV, creating family fun on Route 1 in Saco.
Seacoast RV's blowout bonanza savings are so crazy, it makes my head want to explode.
Seacoast RV. This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.